guests from Impact Theory that have had the biggest impact on you personally, if you had to name three, ones that have maybe changed your life or your personal life.
We've got V.S. Ramachandran, who taught me more about the brain than anybody else. You have David Goggins, who, it was more researching him that really changed me. And I thought I was a pretty tough guy, and then I read that and I was like, there's levels to this shit. So really inspired me. The whole notion of when you think you are burnt out, spent, you've got nothing left, you're only 40% of the way to your max. Like, that's crazy. You're not even halfway there. And that rang so true the second I read it. It's like, okay, word, I can get behind that. A third person, I am inevitably going to forget somebody incredibly important, but I will default to, I'll be cheesy for a second, I'll tell you, because this is actually true. The person who's influenced me most of my life is my wife, and we did an episode of Health Theory together. So I will say that for sure, she's the biggest influence on my life. That's a little cheeky. So I will give you that David Eagleman, who's also a brain researcher, has taught me the second most behind my boy V.S. Ramachandran. And learning about the brain is the single most important thing I've ever done in my life.
Okay. You mentioned you had Jocko on recently, which was important because I know you had him on before, but then that was when it was Quest, Inside Quest on stuff. He does children's books as well.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Yes.
So he's going young. I have both of his children's books. I know he's got a third one. I know he's got a coloring book. I'm going to get on it, Jocko. But I was a big fan of The Warrior Kid right up early on. And my boys still aren't really reading yet, so they'll get there. What did you learn from Jocko?
One, it's been utterly fascinating to watch Jocko change as a human. And so I'm like, is he flanking me here? Like the guy that showed up for the first interview and the guy that showed up for the most recent interview really is different.
3 years.
About
More.
3 years, yeah,
About three.
maybe 3.5.
Yeah, okay.
And that was really cool to see. Like he's really getting good at being a communicator, and that's very impressive. But the thing I learned most from him is extreme ownership, and I talk about it all the time. So I have a book list of my most important books that I've read that really impacted me. In fact, Carol Dweck was also a guest on the show. That fucking transformative. That was Inside Quest. And then his book is number 2 on my list of important books to read. So I think that concept of take ownership for everything is right behind the growth mindset. It's the single most important thing any human being can learn, to just stop looking outwardly for the problem and start saying, what can I control? What can I do to change this situation? Because there's always something. And if you're looking outward and playing the victim and allowing yourself that, man, it doesn't do anything good for you. Like, I'm not like on my high horse about, kids today. I'm just like, if you're not taking ownership, if you're not saying, how is this my fault? What could I have done differently? You're not going to get where you want to go. You're always going to feel that you're at other people's mercy. And the second you believe that you can change something, then you'll take the actions you need to change it. And then all of a sudden, real interesting shit happens. But when you feel like, oh, fuck, man, like, it just is what it is, the system is holding me down, then it's like, you're not going to do the right things. You're just not going to do the right things.
I love the concept so much, man. And when I first met Jocko, I actually went deeper on his stuff after the first episode and just became our whole mindset around here. And now it's in the first module of all of our courses. I teach it to all my students, like, you're taking extreme ownership, and we stick Jocko on the screen and everyone just takes it. And it's been a massive game changer.